Welcome back to Spring Into Math 8. I'm Mr. Burns. Today's the last lesson in our chapter. The topic today is analyzing functional relationships by graphing. So we're going to be looking at a specific graph and learning to describe it with some very key vocabulary. Let's get started. How are we supposed to analyze a graph? Well, the first thing we need to do is just take a look at the graph or graphs and learn to describe them separately. What is the line doing, you may be asking yourself? Is it traveling up or down? Is it positive? Is it negative? And create a few comparison statements that you can write in simple short sentences to show that you compared and analyzed a graph. So some key vocabulary that we can use to describe graphs. We could talk about, you can use the word increase, which means going up. We can use the vocabulary word decrease, which means going down. We can have the words constant rate, faster, and slower. Now this is a very short list. There are other vocabulary words out there you can learn to use to describe or when you're analyzing a graph. But let's go ahead and use these for today. So Leo made a graph of his trip that he went on. He walks to his friend Brian's house, and then he hires a taxi to take them to their office where they work. Let's see what that graph looks like. Here's the graph. We have a couple things we're looking at here. It's asking us to describe this graph. So we can see here that A is a part of the graph. There's a section for B and a part for C. So let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these sections of the graph separately. The graph has three different stages, as I previously said. Part A is when Leo is walking to Brian's house. Part B is when Leo gets to Brian's house and they're waiting for that taxi. You see that has a flat part of the graph, so that's when they're waiting at home. And C is when Leo and Brian are sitting in the taxi, and the taxi is moving at what we call a constant rate. If you compare Leo's walking speed to the taxi's speed, we could say that the taxi is traveling at a faster rate than Brian would be walking. Just a reminder to use the vocabulary discussed when analyzing. Increasing, decreasing, constant rate, faster, and slower. If you learn to use these key vocabulary words, you're going to do great at analyzing graphs. Hope you get some practice in. Catch you in the next chapter.